Hey guys, Will's Photoshop Help here, and as you can already tell from the title that you just saw, in this video we're going to be doing iPhone icons. Now, before we start, let me just go ahead and tell you guys, this isn't for themes, it's not for jailbroken themes. This is for App Store icons, or if you're making a jailbroken app and you just want the basic shape that you get with stock iPhone apps. So you're going to get the basic shape in this video, and I'm going to show you a couple techniques to make it look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need to use Photoshop CS3, CS4, CS5, one of those will get the job done. So File, New, and here are the settings I'm using. Width 600, height 600, and your background content will be set to transparent. So when you're done there, you can just hit OK, and you'll get your image. Now what we need to do here is go ahead and set our actual shape for the icon. So we're going to come over here, and just below the pointer tool, we're going to click and select the rounded rectangle tool. Now, before we do anything, you need to come up here and make sure your radius is set to 100 pixels. This is very important, especially that you guys use the exact dimensions that I gave you earlier. And you're going to go ahead and set your color. I'm going to go ahead and set mine to black. And now what we're going to do is take your pointer and make sure you have the exact dimensions that I told you earlier. We're going to put it in the upper left-hand corner, and we're going to click and drag to the bottom right-hand corner. And you need to make sure that you can see the black line that appears on all sides. So you make sure that you get the entire image. So as you can see, mine is already a little preset with a couple blendings. That's because I was doing this earlier to make sure my steps were all correct. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did there. So I'm going to right click, go to blending options. And as you can already tell, I have my inner glow set. I like that. It gives me a nice little inner glow, and I think it looks the icon look a little bit better. So I have that set on here. I have the opacity to about 30%, the size to about 130 pixels. So as close as to that would be nice. Of course, you can have an inner shadow. You could have a pattern. I don't recommend it. You can't really have any drop shadows or outer glows because that's just going to get cut off when you make your image, so anything like that will work just fine. Okay, so we have our inner shadow, and we're going to come over here now. You need to come and click on the shape and click Rasterize Vector Mask. That will basically get rid of the vector mask now that we have our outlined shape. So that, for the most part, is pretty much it. Now, I know a lot of you are probably asking, Will, wait a minute, what about that shape you get on the stock iPhone applications? It's kind of like a glare on the very top that comes and rounds out a bit. It looks kind of like a reflection on the top, about a third of the way down. That's actually not part of the image. That is rendered by the iPhone itself. You set that up in Xcode when you're programming your App Store application. That's actually something you program into the app. But that is not something you want to do in Photoshop, because then you might possibly have two of them, and that just wouldn't look good. So for now, we're going to leave that out. But I might reference it. I might reference some Xcode tutorials later on, so you can get an idea what you're talking about. So let's go and start. So again, I'm going to be leaving that glare section out of this because you really don't need to be doing that. If you're on a jailbroken theme, yes, you're going to need to do that because the iPhone won't render those. But that's for a later video. I'll show you how to do jailbroken icons, which will be a little bit tougher than this one. But for the most part, we're almost done with this. We got the shape. We got some blendings put in. Now what I'm going to do is just set a little bit of text. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to type out some text. Will's Photoshop Help. Now here's the key when it comes to text. You want it to be big enough where you can read it. You want it to not be a funny color where it makes it hard to read. And you want it to be, for the most part, centered up in the center. And, of course, it's going to need to be another color other than black. Or, well, if you have a black icon, it needs to be something other than black. If you have white, it needs to be something other than white. Again, that's pretty obvious. So I have a Will's Photoshop Help icon here. This is readable now, but at the end of this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you need to size this down to work with the iPhone, and it might not be readable then. So my tip is always make the text as big as possible. at least where it will fit in the icon. And later, if it seems like it's a little too big, you can always go back and edit that yourself. So I'm just going to hit that up a little bit to about 72%. If you wanted to, you can even hit it maybe a little bit higher, up to like 8 in the 80s. Let me go ahead and select that, go up here to my text box. I'm going to hit 80. I wouldn't push it any bigger than that because now you're hitting the edge of the icon, but that would be about okay. If you can't get it to line up, guys, try zooming in a little bit. That can help. That's what I always do. But that's looking okay. Alright, so we basically have our icon here. I made a Will's Photoshop Help icon, and thank God that I actually spelled everything correctly first time. So now what I'm going to be showing you is how to finish up your icon now. I'm going to be showing you how to size it down. So what we're going to do is make sure you have your image selected here, and we're going to go to Image, Image Size. And the dimensions for an iPhone icon are not 600 by 600. As you can tell, you'd have to have a giant iPhone. They're actually 60 by 60, or really 57 by 57, but 60 by 60 is a pretty good number, and it's pretty close. So I'm just going to type 60. It should automatically change for you. If it doesn't, you just type it in. And we're going to come down here to our drop-down menu, and we're going to select Bit by Cubic Sharper, best for reduction. And then we're just going to hit OK. And that is our icon, guys. And you know, it's pretty easy to read. It's actually very easy to read, so if you wanted to, even at this stage of making the icon, you could go through, select, and change it. As you can tell, since we reduced it, it's not going to be 80 pixels anymore. It's now 8 pixels because we reduced it by a factor of 10. So what I'm going to do is just set that to 70, which would be an equivalent to 70 pixels at its original size. And that's still very readable. If you didn't like that, you can go through, sorry about that, select it again, and you can set it to like 7.5. There we go. And that looks great. I'm going to center it up a little bit. And there's our icon, guys. It's now the correct size for your for the iPhone, and you can now enter it into Xcode for your App Store application, or you can use it however you want it. Maybe you like a jailbroken theme with these kind of icons. It's all up to you. So now I'm going to show you how to save it. We're going to go to File, Save As. Make sure the format is set to PNG, and I'm just going to name this icon. Choose where you'd like it saved, and saved. Okay, and there you go, guys. We're all done. That's how to make an iPhone icon, either for the App Store or whatever purpose you'd need it for. Again, I will have a jailbroken icon tutorial pretty soon. Not right away, but pretty soon, because it will be a bit tougher than this. So I'd like to get a few more videos out there on photo editing before I did this, get you guys to build up your confidence level a little bit, get a little bit more comfortable with the program. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please rate, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any problems. I'll get back to you. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment on my main channel page, and I'll add it to the tutorials to come. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.